Turn up the volume, wake the crowd. F'nAround, start the day. Rats and raves, we got something to say.
Good morning. Today's December 19th, and welcome back to F'nAround in the Morning on WURE-FM Global Radio. I'm your co-host, Joe.
What's good, everybody? It's JJ. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing great, my man. I'm doing great. I'm still feeling full from that lovely grilled calamari dinner last night as we were talking.
Oh, dude, you went and did it, huh?
Yes, I did. You know it.
That's fucking amazing. How was it?
It was absolutely delicious. You know, I had some grilled calamari, some baked clams. Of course, I had, I guess I'm actually some salmon. I did my salmon for dinner instead of a steak. You know, it's kept it a little healthier. So trying to avoid, I'm a bit avoiding some of those red meats, kind of keeping it healthier these days, but it was all delicious.
Yeah, dude, I'm on that. Like, I kicked pork out completely, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
So, no more pork. Fucking, it's actually a lot better. I really wish that I could say I would try getting off like red meat and shit, but I'm a beef guy, dude.
So okay.
It's fucking. But I want to try that shit Joe Rogan does. You know how he eats like elk and bison.
Yeah.
And dude, I really would actually thoroughly want to try that.
So I would love to do that, but gout doesn't allow me to. Like, you're supposed to stay away from game meat. Like, if you know about gout, like it's like that arthritis.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like it's organ meats, red wine, beers. Obviously I didn't stop that one. Turkey's really bad. Spinach is bad, but game meat's big up in there too because too much of it's going to affect your system, and then the last thing you want is you're not able to walk for a while, or you lose the ability to do a joint. So yeah.
No shit, that would suck.
So you could do it in moderation, but in moderation, then like when I originally started switching, it was like I had to get rid of all alcohol or get rid of the food, right?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I got rid of most of the food to keep the alcohol, and now that I got rid of the alcohol, I already got rid of the food. So it's not like bring it back. It's more of if it's there, I will have it, but everything's still in moderation.
Most definitely. And see, obviously, the way that I see that he gets it cooked and shit, right? Mm-hmm. I would need it done that way, right? Like, I'm just not taking some elk meat home and cooking it my damn self, right? I would need it done because the way that he gets these little fucking plates set up with his elk or his bison, dude, it looks so goddamn good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the food is delicious, too. I mean, I used to love eating Bambi every Christmas. Yeah. You know, you ever get the sausage rolls? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? The deer sausage?
Yeah, the venison meat.
Yep.
Uncle Neil used to make it all the time.
Oh, so yeah, he used to go hunting all the time.
Yeah, we even, I was the first time I tried it. We made supersod in the store one time, right?
Okay.
And I know they made venison supersod. I don't remember, like, I don't think I tried it. I don't think I ate it because supersod had the cure and it was all in Michigan and shit. But they made supersod out of venison. And I guess it's just something that they eat a lot. I mean, I didn't know that, but it's decent.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, the amount of different things you can do with food is amazing. And game meat is,
for sure.
Bison burgers, it's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. But see, I see them on menus and shit, and I'm not sure of the place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I want to make sure that I'm getting some quality bison meat and it's not just some nasty fucking filler.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Have you seen those specials where they do that thing where they actually test the meat at places, see if it actually is the fish or the crab it says it is? Yeah, like you can go on YouTube.
People out?
Yeah, they did a special where they kept buying, I think it was like crab meat or lobster meat at all these places, and they started testing it and finding a lot of it was like whitefish or like certain fishes they
filler. It's just filler. Yeah.
And there's like fishes that they say it is, and it's actually like not. It's like Asian carp or something.
Yep, it's just some type of white fish that they can fill it with very little crab meat or something in it. You see it. Listen, that's why I'm so iffy about like I'll eat calamari from certain places. Right. So if you go to Tuscany, if I went to Tuscany, like down the street from over by you, I would get it. I trust the meat that I'm getting out of that restaurant. Right. But unless I can say that, I'm very iffy about what I order from fucking places for that fucking reason that you just said.
Right. And some places say it and list it. Like if you go to Jewel and you add it to their crab salad, like really small at the bottom, it says this is whitefish. You know what I mean? It says the type of fish. But I still love that. Like I used to get that all the time, put it on Hawaiian bread and eat little mini sliders of it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dirty dog.
Yeah, put a little cheese on that shit and it's good to go.
Bro.
Oh,
King's Hawaiian, doing a sandwich on them rolls, it does something to it, dude. I'm telling you.
It's my favorite bread. Like outside of like when you're going for like a sandwich outside, at home, I don't ever have anything but Hawaiian bread. There's something about Hawaiian bread.
Yeah. It brings something to a sandwich. Fucking done, dude. Fucking done.
And then when you toast it or you like, it's got that glaze feeling because of the show.
Oh, no, yeah. Yo, Ange used to make sloppy joes, right?
Right.
She would bake them in the oven after she made it on King's Hawaiian rolls, right? Oh my fucking goodness, dude.
It's amazing.
Top notch.
Oh yeah.
Top fucking notch.
And like speaking about weird bread, before you jump on your topic, my mom just picked this up for me. I knew you'd get a kick out of this. Tortillas. You know, you can buy the tortillas like you get them in a store. Mm-hmm. They now are selling versions of cheese tortillas. So instead of bread at all, it's just giant tortillas made of different cheeses: mozzarella, provolone, cheddar. Yeah, think about that. You could just put your toppings.
Where's that at? Yeah, they're not going to have that by me.
Probably not. But you could just put your toppings and your meat in there, and the cheese is the wrap on the outside.
Yo, Angela would go crazy over something like that. Dude.
Right?
She loves that shit. Yeah. No, they're not going to have that. Say they don't got no good shit like that down.
Oh, it's absolutely.
It's hard to get the right stuff that we need for cheese and crackers.
Right, and that's a brilliant idea, though. Like conceptually, I love. It's like a lettuce wrap for an Italian.
Tell Mom, good come up, dude. Tell Mom, great come up. Great come up. Thanks for keeping an eye out for us, or Karen. Thanks for keeping an eye out for us, please, on the good shit.
Oh yeah,
especially
delicious
for us stoners over here.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know what we should do when it gets close to our Christmas? We should just do some videos of our own food and just add in whatever episodes. Like, stay tuned. Joe's gonna upload some videos right now. You can see what we actually ate and do like little video. So like because I'll do the fishes where I'll do like little couple videos going up and down in the fishes and the food I do.
Yeah, and put it a little and show everybody a little bit about the shit we're talking about.
Exactly, and we'll put it like I'll just cut the episode right where we say, hey, right here we're gonna add in some food. I'll just add in a couple of videos of our food so they can see the type of food that we discuss as family meals.
Most definitely, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. We be cooking over here, guys.
Yes, we do.
So fucking, I got some updates on some of the Wisconsin stuff, dude, and I really wanted to reroute back to that because it's such a fucked up situation, right?
And just like he said before, though, like for any update, if we get new updates or we find out we're wrong or there's new update information, we'll always come back to do it because we speak from the information we have at the time until somebody calls us and tells us what's going on.
Yes, and we do have some. Right now. So as of right now, I believe there's a teacher, and a student killed.
Oh wow!
Right, and the young girl, 15 years old, also took her own life, dude.
Oh,
so you've got 3 losses of life, 2 children. Over what there's still not much about. I mean, they say it's a combo of factors when they say the motive, right? So obviously that's what they're going to get. And then you still have 2 students still fighting for their life in critical condition.
That's absolutely horrible. I mean, the fact that it even went there, as I said last time, I really want to know what happened in the home life or in that school life to make it get that bad.
Yeah, for sure. Because didn't we just have a case where the parents have since been charged?
I believe that was Michigan. Wasn't that Michigan?
I believe so.
I believe that was Michigan.
Yeah. So how do they? So you think this might be a situation where like you dive into that a smidge, and you see, and then maybe the parents deserve some type of charges too, possibly, right?
So okay, let's take a double-edged sword on that because let's look at it both ways now, right? Like I'm not picking a side. Let's do the devil's advocate.
No,
right.
That's definitely.
From a civil side, I understand. From a criminal side, what if they were doing the best they could and did? Let's put it in our situations, right? Like what you did and what I did as children and the amount of things we got in trouble with. Because, James and I are very upfront. We both have very speckled backgrounds. We've both been in trouble with the law and drugs and alcohol. We were fuck-ups, whether it was in the military or not in the military. I always fucked around. It's my past. It's who the fuck definitely. I am. Yeah, the reason but we found ways around it and got better, and we acknowledge our past and we use it to make us who we are. As much as we wish it didn't happen, it's who made us who we are today and what upstanding people we are to this day.
These are facts. Yep.
But now let's put it in your shoes. While you were getting charged and what you were doing, when you were underage, or if you were underage at that point, would you want your parents charged for what you did, saying that you were doing the drugs and you were doing it because of that? But let's keep going on that thought for a second. If they helped with it and there was proof that they pushed it or made it occur or they facilitated it, yes, that where I would think it. But if there's a proof or a pattern that they didn't have anything to do with it, they were trying to address it, therapy, help, support, all this stuff, should they still be allowed, or should it be proof under the law that they either facilitated it and enabled it or they didn't? There you go. Sorry.
Yeah, they would definitely, like you're saying. So you can't just go and charge the parents because the kid did something stupid. Right. So you do need to dive into it and see really what was going on.
Yeah.
Was mom and dad doing anything to combat this? Did they just give you a gun and let you go to school with it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Did things like this happen? So 100%. You can't just assume that the parents should be arrested and charged with these murders and these actions off top. You definitely got to get to the bottom of it.
I just want to make sure we're clear with that, like up front on it, because this could go down a really different level.
Yeah, it can.
So
because I believe those parents in Detroit, I think it was Detroit or the Detroit
wherever
area
it was.
in Michigan. In Michigan, I believe that they were found that like the kid was just running around with the gun. They weren't doing nothing about it. There was no safety taking place, right? Shit like that, right?
Right, and that's kind of what I was getting at, because as I remember we talked about before, cities versus suburbs, rules versus situation. It can't be taken on a countrywide view. It has to be a case by case and location based situation.
It can't be a general basis.
Correct.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, it cannot be on a general basis. 100%.
Correct.
Good point.
Yeah.
Very good point. Yeah.
Like for example,
find out more about that. Then.
Right. I mean, like for example, when you go to Vegas and you're like in a political party and they give you a hooker, it's legal. But when you go to Chicago and they hire hookers to serve you the Democratic Party at an event, it's illegal.
Ooh,
message.
Yeah, message. These dirty dogs, man. What are these guys doing, Joe?
Wait, I thought it was the Dirty Dems, baby.
The Dirty Dems. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Dirty Dem Hour.
Welcome to the Dirty Dem Hour. Man, dude, what are these guys doing? So now, what do they do in Wisconsin, right? So what do you think? What do you think? In your opinion, let's.
I think they're gonna have to dive into I think before anyone can jump to conclusions and say what they can do, we have to get some more evidence into the mindset, like other diaries, other blogs, other TikToks, other social media. What is actually going on here? Like what exactly occurred, right? Like, because because
they said they're investigating writings and stuff like that. So they're obviously going through some of the girls' writings, right? So for all we know, there was something bad going on in the home that caused this girl to go off the handle, right? Something like that. That's obviously an assumption.
Exactly. And then it always goes down to who it was and why it was, right? Who the victims were and why they were. And they are victims no matter what.
Regardless. Even the girl who took her own life, she's still a victim of the situation.
Yes.
This is still a tragedy because of all this.
Exactly. So there's going to be a lot of factors that we have to take into effect of what happened. But either way, the situation itself is horrible. But the idea that things are still escalating to this point after decades and decades of people looking into this and trying to find ways to stop it, that's shattering. I mean, look at the nation when Columbine first occurred. Remember that?
Oh my God, dude. I was a young guy. I was a young fellow.
I was a young fellow too. And remember it came out where it was Basketball Diaries and Natural Born Killers, where like the two movies he watched over and over. And that was his repeat. That was the repeat thing. And that was like their motivation for the trench coat mafia type stuff. Remember? So,
yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
And I will say to this day, Natural Born Killers is still one of my favorite movies. So the fact that it influenced something like that is miserable and horrible, but yes, it is actually a great movie if you've never seen.
Yeah, and to say that it influenced it, right? That's the problem with a lot of stuff these days, and that's why we don't see great movies like that no more, though,
right?
So you don't see great movies and shit like you're talking about because so many people are so easily influenced about the things that they're watching and seeing on social media, on the internet, on TV, right? That like even we see it in the music industry, right? So the same thing talking about influence. Somebody can go on stream and do a drive-by and get 1 million views and their music can run numbers for months on months because of it, right?
Right.
So now you've got everybody and their mother trying to do the same thing now.
Right. But then when you start getting into video games, they're talking about not how violent and bloody they are, right? And people get upset and blame that. But have you actually, speaking of like blaming stuff, have you actually done the research in some of these games that don't look violent that still have violence?
Oh, I mean, there's tons of them. I mean, we see it with kids shows and all types of shit. Right. They do that. Yeah. All the stuff. Yeah.
Like, I mean, just running through random stuff. Have you ever looked into Fortnite? Like Fortnite is a fighting game, right? I've actually never played it, but
Tino's the GOAT.
Okay. Have you actually, do you consider that a violent game or more of a kid-friendly fight game?
I would say it's violent. I mean, there's no way around it. The whole purpose is to shoot people, but it's just they made it cartoons.
Right.
So it's literally Call of Duty with cartoons.
So it's funny though, like if you actually dig into it and dig into what's going on, there's like different events and rumbles in there. I've heard. Are you familiar with those events or live things?
Oh God, yeah, no,
Okay.
dude, it's grown so much, dude. There's so much stuff that you can escape prison, so you can literally do 59 or 40 levels, 49 levels of trying to escape from a prison with your character.
So I was actually digging into it for shits and giggles. You know, I know people who play it, and I was just kind of following some strings.
Oh,
So we
check it
did
out. Chooch will
right.
show you a thing or two.
Oh, no, I'm not good. I'm good on getting on there, but I was looking at, they take different investors and sponsors for each of those events. And one of them, by the way, I was looking into one of these events that already occurred, and the amount of people that are involved, like they had sound studios, visual art studios, they had little like psychotherapy investment groups that got involved that do like therapy and mind stuff, like actually going in where music that controls feelings, visual effects that do it, and it's all backed up. And not only that, they have little events. Like, for example, there was a whole event that was like had funding all the way back to Middle Eastern Saudi money that's funding a group that's doing an event that's using music and stuff that's talking about how to influence behavior and visual basics for this one event on a kid's game.
So I get what you're saying when you say events now. So like they'll run these things like they just did the Eminem one.
Okay.
Right. So Eminem has a character on there.
Right.
Right. And then it's like maybe I don't know how many days it runs. But for so many days, if you buy the battle pass, right, you get all this Eminem based things, right? And all of his music is on there. They did a Snoop Dogg one. They did a Juice World one. They did a Spider-Man one. I get it now, dude. Oh,
but I'm right. But and you're doing it all. But I'm looking at it. I'm like, yo, why would these firms doing this stuff, like these high powered things that do like manipulation, advertise, that are literally known for advertisement manipulation to like adjust consumers' behavior, be funded and invested in these events and royal stuff? Does that not?
Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy.
And I mean, all it took was like somebody telling me about Fortnite and doing it. Like, have you ever looked into who's into it? I'm like, oh no, let me do some research. A couple hours later, I'm down a wormhole. Like, wait, why is an advertising company that specializes for large firms across the globe for advertisement that actually specializes in neurotherapy to figure out how to do consumer behaviors to force behavioral change? Why are they involved in a kid's video game?
Yo, and I'm not gonna so Santino's music knowledge, right? It really, you get a lot of different types of music on there, right? So it literally just plays while you're playing though. So like there's just music constantly in the background of these events and noises and shit the entire time. So, yo, he knows lyrics word for word because of it.
Which is hilarious because what the first thing I thought of, and maybe you won't remember, is the movie Josie and the Pussycats when we were younger, where they're putting subliminal messages and all this stuff to make people buy all that stuff.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm doing this research and I'm like, man, wouldn't that be funny if that was foreshadowing the future?
That would be nuts, dude.
Right. But like, think about it. Like, why would all these big firms be in a kid's video game? Like, why are they able to memorize all this stuff? Like lyrics that like you and I sitting there like.
Now, do you think now listen, is it something that is that bad, or is it a good? Is it just proper business tactics?
I don't know. I mean, without some Freedom of Information Act to get the details of what's occurring or watching the consumer buying behaviors of all the users, we really wouldn't be able to say anything. But knowing that that's being done, and we're talking about movies and games influencing behavior and how people act or violent behaviors, it's interesting to know that people are using media on kids to actually see what they can and can't do to them. So what type of behavior are being moved?
Yeah, and it is really, it's not just like a children's fun friendly, like, I mean, you kill people. That's what it is.
So as I said,
there's no blood, dude. So you don't see blood and shit.
Right. So as I said, I've never played it. The last time I was super big into a video game, Legend of Zelda was still on Super Nintendo. And don't get me wrong, I still played games after that. But like my diehard thing was GoldenEye on 64, like all of us. And
the golden gun, dude.
With the golden gun. And then you got Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past on Super Nintendo.
Course.
Right.
Yep.
Those were like my GOAT games. After that, like the graphics started getting crazier, the controllers started getting crazier. I felt like I needed extra thumbs and extra hands. And that, I mean, I could still sit there and pick it up and play when I have to, if I need to, but there's no reason for me to go like out of my way to go play a game or sit there and game.
Yeah. No, I do miss all the older games.
Right.
Yeah, older games were more clutch. And now it is, like, I mean, now really, like, there's really just two main games, dude, that everybody plays. There are three, actually. Rocket League, Call of Duty, and Fortnite.
I heard Roblox is really big, too.
Yeah, but see, there's some weird shit going on there. I don't let him do that.
Okay.
So he's not allowed to play. I mean, his cousin plays it, but the problem is like there was a lot of like I seen a real live game in there where the whole point of the game was to kidnap a baby and put it in an oven. So like there's all these different weird settings. Like you're literally living like a virtual life in that game.
Oh,
It's kind of weird. You build homes and shit. So like you and your friends can all build a gated community and live together. And then what started happening was older people started getting involved under like false, accounts and shit. And creeps are in there and they're fucking playing. No, I heard.
Hey, DeSantis, did you hear that? Did you hear that, DeSantis?
Yeah, DeSantis, that poor guy. I get a lot of, my aunt lives there. She's not happy with him, dude. I don't know what's going on.
But it just made me think of your whole social media thing about him with DeSantis. That's why I said that.
I mean, but he means that shit.
Yeah.
But see, the problem is that's not social media, bro.
But here's my thought. Yeah, it's a game, but aren't games now starting to become like social media? If you can go on and you have profiles and you can have who you are and you can converse with people around the world, isn't that game the same thing as social media? No.
Yeah, I mean, I would think, but I'm telling you, they're not going to be able to ever tell kids that they can't play video games that are literally set.
Right.
Now, what they need to do, I mean, because they have like PG. I don't know the ratings, but like PG-13 and stuff for movies, right? They have that for video games, right?
And see, they have the I remember the 17 one for Resident Evil when I was a kid.
Dude, but they don't. I don't see it like that no more. And the guidelines would need to be followed. So that's what I'm saying. If it says mature on it, you shouldn't be able to play it unless you're 17 or older.
Like they should make this with the technology. You have to like do it, scan your ID through a phone with the QR code that on the screen. Like you scan the QR code, you register your ID to show that you're able to play it.
And you got to do that for anything that you want to do above age now these days.
Oh, really?
We were just doing my 2 Lost account.
Okay.
Because, with like me and Stunt.
Yeah.
And I just had to put my ID in there. I mean, that's just anything that you're 18 or over and there's money being exchanged on these platforms for whatever reason, right? It should be that way.
Did you know when I was trying to set up stuff in Europe as the manager for the F'nArounds, they wouldn't accept my ID verification?
Why?
Because I don't look like me anymore. I don't.
Oh, yeah.
Because my facial structure doesn't match on any AI programming to any of my previous pictures.
So they got to redo your biometrics, bro.
All my biometrics don't match up. None of it match. None of my IDs match up with me.
Say it on air. What do you want to do? You're a ghost. Where do you want
to go? I think Luigi needs his Mario. It's a me.
It's a me. Hey, Luigi, you got a friend in him.
Sorry, I had to. I mean, that time was perfect.
Hey, that was a good one. Well done. Well done. No, but that's yeah. So I mean, you should have to do that type of stuff for these games, anyways. If they're ending up being like, if this stuff's becoming such an influence on kids, which you're obviously pointing out, they're putting some money behind making sure that it is an influence on kids, right?
And the fact
that's
that like
basically what you're saying.
But they always put money behind finding ways to influence consumer buying behavior, and it's always about consumer buying behavior.
But is it backfiring on them now, Joe?
Right?
Is this starting to backfire on
because let's put it this way: everyone's got a different mental breakup, how their brains work, how things work. I mean, like, look at me. I can't look at color photos, and I can't do color stuff because I'm colorblind. So when you try and do stuff in images, like. It's like, you remember those things, those dotted pictures you watched as a kid to look at the picture in it? I've never been able to see one of those because I'm colorblind. So I've always thought people were gaslighting me my whole life as a child because they all said I see a boat, I see a kitty. What the fuck? It's just a bunch of dots.
It's just a bunch of dots, you idiots.
Right. Like, fuck is wrong. I thought everybody and their mother used to gaslight me. Like, I didn't know that shit.
No, yeah. So yeah, that's, man. I don't, you've always been, like you said, you've always been doing stuff to influence kids, but now is it starting to backfire on you?
Right. Is the
stop this shit?
Is the programming not working how it's supposed to work, or where is this stuff coming from? Because if violence are coming from other places, and not only are these things violent and have aggressive tendencies, but you're also putting subliminal messages in there for consumer buying behavior, not like mind control, but like you're trying to push them to buy something, push them to acquire something, push them to do this.
100%. Yeah.
What if it's not coming across the right way because everyone's brain takes something differently?
Yeah. I mean, you see, and now this is a good way to tie it in. Now you see it in the music industry, like we said a little bit ago.
Right.
You see it doing the same thing. So at what point do you say that it's the wrong thing to do, though?
Right.
Right. So you lose your bottom line. You go below your bottom line for that.
And that's the problem. That's where the point people start going over the edge and going crazy. I mean, do you ever watch Candace Owens interviews?
Oh yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, did you see the one she did with the ex-CIA agent when they're talking about MK Ultra?
No.
Oh, they talk about mind control and how it's been forever and how they literally can flip people on and kill people and do what they want. And they drive them nuts and they drive them crazy after. And the guy's going to kill them and not know how it works. And they were using that to tie in with the Trump shooting.
Really?
Yep.
You know, whatever came of some of that stuff, bud. Whatever. Did you get any good updates on any of that? I lost touch with that situation.
Message.
No. Oh, damn it. I just proved your point. Yeah, dude, my bad. Yo, that was not intentional.
Not at all, but that was amazing.
I legitimately didn't know anything about. I'm sitting there wondering, like, whatever happened?
Yeah. How does an untrained fucking kid out of nowhere take a shot at a president and get that close with that type of fucking material and basically almost hit the guy out of nowhere?
And we're not talking about it still.
Right. And we're not still talking about it.
Oh, you know why? You know why we stopped? Because Diddy, Jay-Z, and then Luigi all went ape shit in the matter of the past 90 days.
Right? See?
Yeah.
Remember, like, things happen in the left, go away because you're looking to the right?
No. But see, but you know what's good, though, is I'm going to I like to make sure that we stay on top of this stuff, though. So I'm going to keep checking in on this stuff that's going on in Wisconsin and
everywhere. I mean, we'll always ride back. I mean,
yeah,
come at us and we'll ride back. I mean, happily. I mean, if we don't, Tom McDonald will probably remind us with one of his songs.
Oh my God! Shout out to Dude, bro. If you check this out ever, I'd be happier than a pig in shit.
And the reason I said that is this morning when I was doing my workout, his song with Ben Shapiro came on, and I'm like, oh my God, this shit is fucking amazing.
Dude, I remember literally when he like really started doing his Thug Thizzle, bro. Oh my God, bro. It was the greatest experience to watch that dude grow with literally fighting against everybody the entire time.
So I've been listening to him since before COVID, and I felt like during COVID and lockdown, like he blew the fuck up.
Yep.
And he hit some hardcore message.
To him pre-COVID, right?
Yep.
And then COVID hits. And he just went ape shit, dude. And he did it the right way, dude. He did
natural, independent himself.
Artist, bro.
And I love that he does his shit with Nova, his girl. Like,
dude, one of mine and Angela's favorite songs is their song together. Yep.
Dude, together,
gang, dude. Yeah,
they're amazing.
Great song.
Yes, everything he's been doing lately is like on top.
I believe actually, right? They're both Canadian, right?
I believe so too.
I know that he came to I know that he tried to do his thing in like the California area. I know all that stuff, right? But I'm understanding that they're both Canadian, super fucking talented, dude.
Amazingly
super
talented.
Fucking talented. Yeah, dude, great artist. But I know there was a few other things you wanted to touch on. We were just talking about, man. What about this clemency spree?
Oh, I love this. This actually tickles me at the bottom of my this tickles my cockles, right? Because we sat there and we gave him the benefit of the doubt, and his team, right? His team, because we've talked about his mental capacity.
Yeah.
So let's just say straight up, we gave the Democratic Party the benefit of the fucking doubt because of the fact that, you know what? If they were nonviolent criminals, they did not actually hurt people, and they weren't doing something that like caused a big outrage where no one's going to care about, then okay, maybe you did something right. You're taking some strain off the system, and maybe there was a point. But have you seen what's been coming out? I mean,
oh man.
Not only are you talking about some were violent, you're talking about actual spies, legitimate agents from overseas, even ones in Illinois, and political corruption parties. His own party he's granting clemency to. Like, you seen this shit, right?
You know, and also we got to make sure that we always point out, right? So some of the things and the accusations that Joey just made, right, are already beyond the point of accusation, though.
Yeah.
They've been charged with these certain crimes. Right. It's all public knowledge. So
everything's
anybody that's going to say that this didn't happen, right? Or okay, so listen, you could pretty much just go look it up. It's public record. But also what we also need to make sure everybody understands is this definitely isn't a red and blue thing. This is a hypocrisy thing.
Yeah, a system thing.
So how the fuck are you going to sit here and attack Donald Trump for what you say, taking care of his buddies, right? What do we always hear? Yep. Donald Trump takes care of his buddies, right? So that would mean that if I run the Democratic Party and I'm going to attack Donald Trump doing that, right? I'm going to need to tighten up the Democratic Party and make sure nobody else is doing that too, because you
Right.
can't make me look like a fucking hypocrite.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, but it's also funny where, like, I mean, even going back to it, I mean, you saw the guy from the judge, right? Have you noticed that?
Yeah, exactly.
Have you noticed that the Democratic Party doesn't attack Trump for kids?
Well, no, but see, but listen, they try to though.
Yeah, they try, but like it doesn't land.
Is that you can't substantiate the claims, right? So, like, majority of the time, what you're seeing is when some stupid child stuff gets involved with one of Trump's buddies, right? It normally doesn't hold any merit, and it's usually a money grab, right? Same thing. Let's talk about Stormy, right?
Right.
Come on, dude.
But then Biden can go ahead and pardon what, a judge? Did you see the judge one?
So that's where the hypocrisy stands in, right? So
exactly.
So now you guys are all mad at Donald Trump, right? For example, because supposedly he paid Stormy Daniels to not say that they fucked, right?
Right.
Whatever. Basically, obviously there's more to it, right? But then what you guys go and do is you guys go and pardon a judge that was literally selling and profiting kids off of children. And I believe there's one that came up dead from that situation.
Yeah, I believe
right?
the child killed himself.
Not saying that yeah, exactly. I was going to say it. So from the situation stemmed a situation where a child killed themselves, and this guy is walking around, chilling.
Right. So So let's take it a step further and see how much worse we can make this situation, right? So from someone who's been in the system, James, I mean, like,
most definitely.
Yeah. My taps around the system were way different than your taps around the system.
Yes,
right.
Sir.
So who's someone who's been in the system, would you consider sex crimes in there prevalent? Not every day, but is there odds for people? Is there like a certain percentage of odds that occurs for people in prison?
So wait, hold on. Rephrase the question, boss.
Like, you know how when they always joke, if you're going to prison, don't drop the soap. Is that considered?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So if you're
I got you, yeah.
if is that a metaphor, or is a regular thing that you've seen occur?
Happens.
So
it happens. Yeah.
So if you're selling kids to a prison that you profit off of, and you have some of that in your back pocket, are you technically part of sex trafficking?
Oh, you're most. I mean, there's no technically. There's no.
That's what I was getting at.
The crime is trying to make it technically.
Right.
That's the crime.
Right. So that's what I was saying. So not only are you selling kids to the prison system, you're basically selling them into sex trafficking with people that were.
Oh, man, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I mean, full circle situation. You're talking about putting them. Basically, you're just putting them out to pasture.
Yep. Exactly.
You're just putting them out to pasture.
That's why I was just tying that full circle back to the kids. That was the point of that in the beginning.
Listen, and that's where you see, like, so most of the time, right, you're going to hear a lot of, like, people that know about these things. They're going to say he killed kids, right? So no, he did not directly kill children, right? We know that, right? He never physically killed a child. But what I can tell you is the situation that he created did exactly what Joey just pointed out. Right. So you're basically creating a situation where kids are going to be locked into the worst case scenario for the rest of their life.
Right. And then
that could mean getting sexually assaulted in jail. Right. That could mean getting killed in jail. That could mean going to jail, learning to become a better criminal, than getting out of jail and killing somebody else, or killing and raping somebody else. I mean, look at all the things that can happen. So this guy right now, what is he? He gets out now, right? So he's pardoned, right? That's how that works. He's done.
Yep. Yeah, I believe it was commuted. Yep.
And that's just really like literally, that's really just the tip of the iceberg here, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was pardoned. Pardoned for this. Wasn't commuted. Yeah.
Like that's not not really even the worst.
Well, it depends how you view worst. So. Let's say they're all very bad in their own realm of situation. So one's not worse than the other. They're all very bad, the people he pardoned. But I meant, like, that's insane. Like, the fact that was even listed on a pardon list. Like, when you phrase it the way you just phrased it.
Yeah.
Why was he even looked at for pardon? When other governors of other states are stepping up and saying, why would they do this? You got an issue.
Because didn't somebody speak out against it too, Joe?
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Josh Shapiro, right?
Yeah, Shapiro, I think, but
Shapiro,
whatever
right?
it is.
Shapiro.
Yeah,
Sorry, Shapiro.
When another Democratic governor steps up and be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Basically, like, you got an issue when your own people are speaking against you.
Man, So, but why doesn't anything? So there's nothing that you can do to stop this, though. So the president can pretty much just do this, right?
Yep.
Obviously, and no Democratic governors.
I
Nobody can weigh in.
That's out of my realm of knowledge. I mean, maybe there is a way,
Yeah.
and there could be a way, but you really think they're going to now? I mean,
no, he's on his way out the door. He's just kicking shit before he does it. He's kicking things on his way out the door and throwing a temper tantrum.
And what are they going to blame it on?
Oh, his cognitive health.
Message.
Yeah, but so how do we so if you could give a recommendation, how do we as a people realistically change stupid shit like this happening?
You actually have to be more informed and more involved and actually follow up on it and start realizing what the people you're voting for and what the parties you're involved with do. I'm not saying left or right, blue or red. Every individual, alderman all the way on up, your local office all the way up. You have to look at everything they're doing, follow their voting patterns, follow what's happening. Because as we said before, once you're in the system, you're usually in the system, right? Mm-hmm. And you start changing. So the problem is when you let somebody in the system that's white knight and good, eventually they get complacent and they stay there forever and they just become part of the system. That's why people joke about you should have term limits on how long these people go sit up on the Hill. Because then you get guys like Mitt.
Do you agree with that? Do you agree with it?
I agree. They should have some term limits on that. Yeah,
term
because
limits, right?
I mean, if you got to wheel a guy,
have a limit, Joe. What doesn't? I don't understand it completely. So what doesn't have limits?
What they're saying. So like the Congress and Senate, right?
Yeah.
They do have limits for how long your each thing is, but if you keep getting reelected, you could stay there for eternity.
So that you always need to go up for reelection,
correct?
But you can keep doing it. So
yes.
You could just keep going and going and going and going and going.
And this hypocrisy was proven like almost 2 decades ago, but with I think it was 2 decades almost, with the Chris Rock movie. I think it was Eddie Murphy? No, Eddie Murphy movie back in the 90s, where Eddie Murphy realized he had a name similar to a politician that was sitting there for life if he dropped one of the letters in his name. So he ran for that office with that by just dropping that letter, and the complacency of everybody there who didn't realize what was going on. He basically won and slid the fuck in because most elderly and seniors and people in there just saw the same name they've been invoking for decades and kept their fucking guy in, not realizing it went from this old white guy who's dead to this young, vibrant fucking black guy who actually had good ideas.
Damn. Yo, do you watch Netflix?
Of course.
So did you see that thing, Tupelo? What's the town that Tupelo, Mississippi?
Oh, I saw. I did not watch it, but I did see it show up on the new shows.
Watch it.
Okay.
Get off this right now. End it. Go watch it.
You can take the next 20 minutes on your own.
Yeah, right. No, dude, it's
JJ jumps in now. No more effing around in the morning.
And then listen, once Joe watches that, dude, he's gonna fucking it was very interesting, and it kind of speaks to the situation that we were just saying, where this guy in Mississippi, a representative from Mississippi, kind of just had this situation where he got to monopolize the fact that he was in there, right? And his mom was a judge, and it was all fucking crazy. It was like, God damn, you can't bust a move in this town without this guy getting it too.
Right. And I mean, then you look at the other, and then you take that and you look at that with the Eddie Murphy movie. You look at the show you're just talking about that I have to get on.
Yeah.
And you look at the fact that term limits, and then let's start look at the rest of these people on this list. I mean, they're in there long enough. Like, you know how
long times, dude.
Right.
Joe Biden was in there a long time, wasn't he?
Yeah, since back in the 80s when he was literally screaming.
Joe Biden's been in politics for a very long time, hasn't he?
Yeah, he was backing it to the point where he was saying that we could never let Israel fail because of the fact that it's our biggest investment.
Ooh, when did he say these things?
I think it was back in the 80s or something. Like he made, it came out.
Old.
Yeah, like you can't say that nowadays.
Yo, my boy's old. Dude. He should be chilling, dude. You guys are bogus. Let that man be.
Yeah,
for real, man.
And I get like people when they're going, like, look at James Gunn. They attacked James Gunn from a tweet long ago. But when you're talking about comedians and like people like that, they're going to be funny and they're going to attack whatever's going on at the time, right? And that's what comedians and actors and celebrities do. But when you're talking about a politician, and you're talking about how they are and what they're going, and they're evolving their ways and how things are moving and looking, right? It's kind of hard to fucking discredit the phrases you said long ago.
No, yeah, because that's like literally like your whole purpose behind being a politician. Stay true to your values, not changing them every season.
So if you're evolving and changing your values, you're kind of a flip-flopper.
You shouldn't be a politician. You should be, listen, you'd be a great business person.
Right, great business person.
Because that's the thing with business. You have to evolve with the times, dude. You have to evolve with the way things go, and you have to be in tune with what's going on at that time. Just in
marketing, that's called the buggy whip analogy. Like if the buggy whip didn't evolve to being like, I think it was a car part, like the belt on a car, the buggy whip would have gone extinct because of the fact that there weren't any buggies to whip ananymore, and the horses were done. The buggy whip analogy.
Yep. Message. Anybody needs marketing tips, slide on Joe. He's got you. 500 an hour. But that's you're 100% correct though. Great valid point, because the fact that they say, oh well, it's good that he's evolved with times. Well, no, really, as his constituents, you should want him to stay true to the same values that you guys have held for generations in your family. Because mind you, a lot of this deep rooted fucking party shit is passed on through generation and generation. Right. It's just occasionally you get one that kind of just doesn't really pay attention to what their family was and goes the complete opposite because of some stuff he did outside of college. Message over there.
Yep.
Yeah. And you get a situation like that where it's different, but most of these like diehard party members are passed down by generations, and it's taught to be a Democrat, to be a Republican.
Right. I completely agree. And that's kind of why the system is how it is. And that's why they always scream about systemic injustices, because that's how it's set up and that's how it's structured. And that's why it goes back to everyone saying it's business as fucking usual.
Yeah. And a lot of people take this the wrong way, because then some people will say like, oh, I don't want anybody to say I'm inciting like riots and shit. But you guys, we got to just be smarter.
Right.
That's it. We don't got to hurt nobody. You don't got to do that. You just really got to sit back and actually like use your brain and not just always fall for the okie doke, because it's instant a lot of it's instant gratification.
And don't take the news for what the news are saying. Take the facts from the cases and what's going on and what that's saying, and analyze it yourself.
Low key. Just ask people.
Right.
Just ask the people that are dealing with the problems that you're talking about. You cannot watch, and low-key, any news outlet is just out of control.
They're all biased one way or another.
I'm so sick of hearing when you go on one, you hear, oh, F him, then you go on the other, and then you hear, oh, F him or her or him, and it's like, yo, dude, can we just please, can we know the weather?
Right. Like, can you tell me the weather? Can we tell me what's going on here?
Or you go on there, dude, and all you hear is all the people getting killed in certain cities. That was the one thing we hated about Chicago news. You can't turn the news on without them talking about people being killed right after the weather. You go from like weather to, bright and sunny in Chicago, 80 degrees today in the summertime. And then you go right after that, the next segment. 12 people shot over the weekend.
Right. It's like you're either going to see political corruption and fraud or scams and what's going on, or someone's going to end up dead in a ditch somewhere, right?
Yep. Pretty much.
Yep.
That's pretty much fucking what you're seeing consistently.
Exactly.
But, and I understand. What did you I want to get back to this part and stuff first. What did you mention out of Dixon, bro? Because there's a mental prison in that area.
Yeah. Was it the comptroller? Took like 50 some fucking $million. Hold on, I gotta check my notes over here. But 50.
Can she give us we'll take 5K.
Yeah, 53.7 million, and she got 20. She sentenced 20 years in prison.
So wait, wait, she got to take money, go to prison for a little bit, and now she gets to get out and go back to the money really quick.
They probably took the money or did something with the money.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, we all know they never recover it all, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I bet you in 2013, if we followed where some of those donations went, we could find some of the money.
So I'm reading now too. So she was currently serving a 20-year sentence that she got in 2013, right?
Right.
53.7.
Right. How much of that you think went to politicians for donations?
45.
How much you want to bet she's going to get out and get some like consulting job or some speaker job to talk about this, to talk about strategy and stuff as a comptroller. Not in politics anymore, but they're going to find a way to get involved with some ally or friend to get back into the circle.
Well, yeah, because it's nothing to charge people for your time, and nor is it illegal. And
Right.
actually, it's actually quite smart to do these days. So people have since learned that literally, and to do things where you thought you needed to become an alderman or a comptroller or a governor or something like that, you can literally just do those things from a consulting standpoint and charge people to do them for you. And you don't ever got to hold political office.
Not at all. Never again. Yet you can still sit there and pull the strings from the background.
Yep, and that's what I'm saying, baby. You can literally, because none of these people think for themselves no more. There's people like we're talking about being paid to make these moves, hence the Fortnite discussion and shit like that. Nobody thinks for themselves no more.
Not at all. It's ridiculous how bad it's getting. I mean, like, you've got, I'm like looking at the list, just going down here. I mean, you got people going in there for stealing money from their constituents. I mean, look, former Democratic Florida state senator stole $1.6 million from Haitian victims. From victims.
What?
She stole victim money.
Wait, so we're talking about the Haitian when the people came from Haiti, right? Because of the of the hurricane, right?
Yeah, all the way back there, back in 2019.
Holy fuck.
She stole money from them. From their victim fund, she stole the money.
Man.
And there's no outrage, there's no screaming.
No, listen, there's nothing. There's not a riot. There isn't nobody, lighting shit on fire like they were doing for all their other stupid shit. You got people that shut down schools for weeks for whatever side of the war you're on. I'm sorry, but remember when all the colleges were getting shut down for all the protests and shit that were going on? We couldn't control them.
The fact that the people are like this are doing it. I mean, multiple people on the list, and it just seems like there's a string, but it's almost like,
because that's not their money. This is the people's money, right? We're talking about, when you're talking about this money being stole from people, it's not stealing it from a bank or something. It's stealing it from our American citizens, our pockets.
Exactly. And that's the thing, that most of these people are stealing it from the American tax dollars, or people donating, or things of what's going on, or they're embezzling it out, or they're selling your kids for money.
So, and then what's this shit with Mike Madigan?
Jesus Christ. I mean, they're finally moving along with that, right? But that's just kind of a showing that our state, the state of Illinois, has hit a critical level of corruption in the Democratic Party. It's been run as a system forever, right? It's a well-oiled machine. We've known that forever. I mean, hell, we know how the machine works. Our families are very well involved with how the machine works. We know that the machine's like this. But it literally shows that the machine has gotten to a point where everybody looks the other way and lets stuff happen. So the federal involvement literally has to come into a state and say, hey, not only is your state completely corrupt, but we have to get involved. So it was supposed to be a message to the state. And like the Walderman Burke and Madigan were supposed to be messages to the state that the system can't run this way anymore. And federal oversight's coming, and they're going to get involved, and they're going to start shaking shit up. And they're going to start pulling the tree and pulling all the threads of how the system was run. I mean, they had to pay to play schemes. You had to pay their businesses. You had to pay their lobbyists. You had to work with their buddies. And everything was done this way, whether it be legislation, whether it be filings, liquor license. Everything was run a certain way for a long time. Now we're in this weird little period now, though, where a lot of the legislation, some of it's not making sense that was done under these parties, because the fact it was always set up for them to keep working in their system and interrogate how they want, which is why we're in such fucked up loopholes in some of these businesses, as you're pretty much aware.
But it's all starting to collapse now, isn't it?
And not only is it all starting to collapse, more people are starting to realize how fucked up the system is. And obviously, as we all know, the system's still running, right? Do you see much change? I mean, you wouldn't have your favorite person in Illinois, would you, if it wasn't running this way?
Oh, you're talking about the Pillsbury Doughboy?
Exactly. So the point is, they're actually finally coming to a point where they're actually going to have the headway, and I think we're finally coming to the end of this saga, but it's just going to open up more doors.
One thing, just to give some good government talk here, right? I will tell you that Georgia, I know that the way that they do things down here, right, I will give them a lot of props, and I don't care about red or blue. I'm just talking about what they do and how they do things, right? So Georgia will, like, you can really see where your tax dollars go. Mm-hmm. Now, are they always going to the right areas, Joe? No. Okay, I get that, right? But you can see that the roads are fixed properly accordingly. The way that they handle that situation is very smart. They really work through the nights, and they work like crazy, and then they get it done really quick. They've been working on 290 in Chicago since my dad was 50.
I mean, they've rarely fix a pothole unless you spray paint a penis around it.
Yeah. Oh my God, the potholes in the neighborhood are ridiculous, dude. Everywhere. So I mean, what I can speak to, and obviously I don't know all, right? So I'm not saying that Georgia, but I can tell that the way that they monitor tax dollars, you're not just able to come out here and get state stuff, dude.
Right.
You got to go through a process. And if you're not married, so like, let's say Angela was just my baby mama.
Right.
And we weren't married. They're coming after me for that money. And if I don't pay, I'm going to jail. And that starts immediate. So I will start getting notices the month after she would have got aid if she did, like if we weren't together. And she fucking would, if I don't pay, you go to jail. That's just how it is down here. So in Illinois, everybody can get anything whenever they want, right? And they don't really monitor the situation that much. So everybody's tax dollars are just being used over in a fucking circle consistently with each other because they give out so much free shit. But hopefully, like you're saying, hopefully now we start to see, I mean, it doesn't really matter for us, dude. We're getting kind of older. But for my son and my niece and people like that, and Anthony Michael and, Freddie's kids, Stunt's kids, hopefully we start to see that there's a change for them now that you're saying it's starting to get some oversight over there.
Well, oversight is good, but continued oversight is what you need. And I think with the fact I think
we got to start somewhere, Joe.
Got to start somewhere.
Got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. And I don't care if it's red or blue, right?
Right.
You got to start somewhere.
Exactly. And with the new administration, and we've touched on it with the DOJ, talking about they're going to go after like actual governors that are allowing this to happen.
Getting a grip on that marijuana situation would be really good, right? Like getting a handle on that and getting that figured out would be very good for the state, wouldn't it?
Would be great for it. Be great for most states if there was a way to fucking look over it. But the problem is, the longer they're letting it sit, the worse it's getting. Because look at now, you got FDA people looking at it. You have like science labs looking at it. You have testing facilities realizing that the stuff that they've been doing is business as usual, and it's not for the consumer; it's for their bottom lines.
Man. I'm gonna look for a nice guest to get on. I think we should have a nice. I want to talk about this federally getting it legalized and what they could have done and what they should do better from in the future type shit with some people that really are on the ground floor though, Joe. Yeah, I don't want none of these big wigs, right? I want to talk to somebody that literally got it out of the mud.
Right, gets their hand in the dirt.
Yeah, and you know what I'm saying? Them I think we just seen a good one too. I think we were talking about that floral one that King Louis just teamed up with. We got to do some research into them, and then Galaxy Labs too. I used to get their stuff at what's that? Namaste in Hoskins when I was out there, man. Really great holistic dispensary, dude. So Galaxy Labs, we definitely got to get some insight from them too.
I couldn't agree more. It'd be nice to hear some people talking about it, but it's not just that system. I mean, look at every system. Look at the education system. Look at like how bad that is in the state.
Don't worry. We're going to get there, dude, because we're going to, we're going to have this nice where we get somebody on here, dude, that can really speak to the problem, right? Me, I don't know. I've never been involved in education in Chicago, right? But I could tell you right now, I don't know if you have, but I could tell you right now, we can find somebody that's really been doing this shit and not just getting paid to play.
Right. And I did do some research for you for Illinois. Did you know you can't run for an alderman or any low-level local office as a criminal because of the fact you could fly under the radar? But if you run for a high, publicized federal position that you can get like actual media looking at you, your background doesn't matter because they figure the skeletons will fuck you themselves.
Oh, listen. Don't tempt me with a good time, bro.
Just saying.
We do this shit for fun.
Oh, I know.
We do this shit for fun.
Oh, I know. I just figured you'd want to know if you feel like flying that flag out there and saying hi. Somebody could.
Hey, listen, man. We're on the right track here. These things are fucking beautiful, dude. This morning show, I'm loving doing this. I'm loving getting these updates out there, man. It's a great job. We have a nice, beautiful conversation about it, dude, and it's really knowledgeable. Getting your view is a little bit different than mine, and
right. And it's kind of like a back and forth little version of it. I mean, usually we get to some type of middle ground, or if we disagree, we disagree. But we actually try and look at it from both points of view. Even if I don't agree with both, I do like taking that step back, sometimes being the devil's advocate to say, hey, check out this, check out this.
Yes, you got to. And it's a great way to operate. It's a beautiful fucking system. It's a beautiful fucking system.
Yeah, and it's kind of how I've always taken business. Let's look at every avenue, every channel, and see how things are going. Just because I don't get it, I got to understand why they're looking at it before I say, you guys are idiots.
Yeah. No, yeah, you have to. you have to actually dive into their view, right? Which is what I try to do with a lot of the things that they're doing. And I'm sorry, I just can't make a lot of the stuff that certain people are doing make sense. But we're definitely trying to get some more updates on the Wisconsin stuff to everybody for the next episode. I'm kind of curious to what they say motive is after they release these writings, right?
Agreed.
So we're definitely, and you know, one thing we also we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna catch back up on too, dude, is I want to circle back and see how Kid Frost, and Toxic Apparel and all his stuff is. So we gotta get in tune with him and see how he's doing and see what's up with him.
Completely agree. But unfortunately, we kept going today, ranting and raving, so it looks like we're at the end. So thanks for effing around in the morning with us. I'm Joe.
Hey, it's JJ. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you for effing around with us in the morning.
See you tomorrow morning.
All right, see you tomorrow morning.
Effing around, start the day. Rest and rage, we got something to say. Feel the beat, the energy rise. It's morning mayhem, no surprise. We're effing around, sun's up, it's true. Morning vibes just for you.
Sounds good.